Good afternoon, Recon here with Techout. It's been a little while since I've been in front of the camera, and frankly it's been a little while since I've really uploaded too many videos, and I kind of want to explain what's going on. Short story is, a lot of you guys know back in January I broke my foot and I had to have surgery. Well, I'm going to have another surgery, and that surgery is actually tomorrow, so I'm just going to fill you guys in on what's been going on. So I'm going to start from the beginning for anybody that's new or missed, January. So back in January, I slipped and broke my foot. I had surgery to fix that. All was healing pretty well. Back end of March, last week of March, beginning of April, I was able to start partially putting weight back on the foot and start weaning off my crutches and out of my walking boot and stuff like that. So it was I think the last week of April, I think by my birthday, which was April 28th, I was walking basically in regular shoes again. I walked in the boot for a little bit, but it kind of made my heel sore, which we'll get to that in a minute. But I was able to start putting weight on it again, and I was able to start walking, and I was starting to walk normally again. I went back for my follow-up appointment on May 3rd, and when they x-rayed it, I had a stress fracture on my heel and another bone, the fourth metatarsal to be specific. It was 1 through 3 that were originally broken, and I had surgery to, I think it was fixing a joint on the first one. I think that's what technically required the surgery. I don't think 2 or 3 were really touched during the surgery. But 4 had a stress fracture, and my heel had a stress fracture, which wasn't a terribly huge deal. The doctor just was going to put me back in the boot for about another 6 to 8 weeks and do another follow-up. And the main reason for this was because I wasn't walking on my foot from January to excuse me, January to April. You start losing a little bit of bone density and bone strength and stuff like that just from the disuse, and you have to strengthen that back up, which is why you do the partial weight bearing and stuff like that, which as far as I knew was going okay. And I was like I said, I started walking on it again. You guys know I took my Mac Mini to the Apple store in April, and that was like right when I started walking, like as soon as I could start walking again and as soon as I could drive again, because it is my right foot, so I'm technically not supposed to drive while I was in the boot and stuff like that. So as soon as I could start taking the boot off to drive and stuff like that, I was driving. I was catching up on the stuff that I hadn't been able to do while I was down. So I went to the Apple store. The first time I went to the Apple store to drop it off, I was in the boot, and I walked from the parking lot to the Apple store, which was a good distance because it's in an outdoor mall, in the boot. And that was like the 3rd day in the boot, and it was really sore on my heel. And this was before that follow-up where I figured out that there was a stress fracture on my heel. So that's probably why it was so sore. But I asked the doctor, I was like, hey, this boot really digs into my heel. Can I take it off? And they're like, yeah, if it's causing you discomfort, you can take it off and just wear some supportive shoes. So I ordered some orthopedic shoes on Amazon to wear, and they were really comfortable. The soreness, a couple days went away. I was starting to walk normally in them, and then again, May 3rd, I went for that appointment. They saw the stress fracture, put me back in the boot. After I'd been walking in regular shoes for a little bit, walking in the boot again wasn't bad. So the doctor said, you can go ahead and go back to work. You just can't lift or do anything like that, which is fine. I just needed to be able to walk. I do a lot of walking at work, but I could hold off on the lifting and that kind of stuff until I was out of the boot, which was supposed to be on June 27th. So I went back to work on Tuesday, and I worked all of that week, Tuesday through Friday. Everything was fine. The next week, went to work Monday. Everything was fine. I came home, and I noticed that my foot had been swollen a little bit just from getting back on it and everything, which they said was going to take time. But my ankle was really sore and swollen, and I was like, that's kind of weird. But I've been the past 5 days I've been walking the most I've walked since January, since I broke it. So maybe it's just got to get used to it again. And then on Tuesday, I put the boot on. I went to work. I was there for like an hour. I noticed when I was walking on the boot that it was kind of walking like tilted. It was almost like walking on the edge of the boot, and I was like, that's really weird. My heel was really, or not my heel, my ankle was really sore, and it just, something didn't seem right. So I went to take the boot off to adjust it because I thought maybe the boot was just on kind of crooked and it was making my ankle sore and, you know, making it walk like that. So I took it off, and when I put my foot down on the floor, because I had been walking on my foot without the boot to take like showers and stuff like that, just like, you know, take the boot off on my bed, walk to the bathroom, take a shower, that kind of stuff, and it was perfectly fine. When I put my foot down on the floor, I instantly knew something was wrong because my foot was so unstable. It was like I stepped on like a bowl of Jello. Like if Jello could support your weight and like jiggle, that was like what my foot and my ankle felt like. And I immediately knew something was wrong. I put the boot back on, and I left work and went to. Sorry, I got my alarm set. I went to urgent care, and the doctor at first thought maybe it was just because of the swelling and the joint was unstable because it was swollen. He's like, I don't really think it's broken. And then they did an x-ray, and it turns out that clean across my ankle is fractured. So I was referred to the emergency room. I went to the emergency room at the same hospital that did the surgery on my foot, and which was actually about 30 minutes away. So we drove down there. They x-rayed it again. Yep, it's, you know, it's broken, fractured, same thing. So they had the orthopedic team look at it, and they're like, yeah, they want to fix this. So they put me in an external fixator, which is basically a device that screws into your bone, and it's in my leg, in my foot. It's actually in one of the bones they fixed back in January, and it's in the fourth metatarsal. It's in those two bones, and it's in the side of my heel. And basically what that does is it keeps my foot and my ankle lined up as best it can for the swelling to go down, and wait for the swelling to go down so they can do surgery on it. Like I said, so I had that put on about 2 weeks ago, and my surgery is tomorrow. So I'm going to be in the hospital all weekend. Hopefully, they said 2 days, so I don't know if that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I get out Sunday, or if it's going to be Saturday, Sunday, I get out Monday. Hopefully I get out Sunday because WWDC is on Monday. I'm not going to be doing too much with the iOS betas right off the bat. I don't have any iOS devices right now, but I do want to be able to watch and stream, stuff like that. But we'll see. Obviously, this comes first. So I just wanted to update you guys what's going on. It kind of sucks. Like I said, I was back at work for 5 whole days, and then ankle goes snap. They're not too sure how I broke it. I'm not really too sure how I broke it. Best guess is I twisted it or something in the boot. And like I said, it was already weakened from being off my foot from January to the end of April. And I just did too much too fast, and being weaker, it, couldn't take that much, and it fractured. We're not too sure why. The only real issue I have is my vitamin D was low, which can contribute to stuff, with your bones. So I'm on vitamin D now, but, they're going to have to go in there and put some screws in there. They're going to have to take some bone from my femur probably and put it down there. Not probably, they are. We just don't know whether it's going to come from my pelvis or my femur. We're going to talk about that tomorrow. But they're going to do a bone graft, put some bone down there, hopefully be able to screw everything back together, put some screws and plates in there, and get it fixed up. There is a chance that it could fall apart and fail. At that point, I would have to have my ankle fused, which means that I would lose range of motion in my ankle. And from what they said, I would have to learn how to walk on like hills and steps again because my ankle wouldn't have its range of motion like up and down like that. So hopefully this is successful and everything goes good. And I'm going to be extremely easy on it this time. I told him I want to be able to, I'm going to take it slow this time. I want to do some physical therapy and be able to strengthen it back up before I, 1, start walking on it again, and 2, go back to work and start walking on it like crazy again, because obviously I don't want it to, I don't want to hurt the foot that they just fixed because now I'm not walking on it again, and I obviously don't want to hurt anything else because it's weakening from not walking on it. So they're going to try to fix it and then get me back, weight bearing, partial weight bearing again as fast as possible so we can decrease the chance of that stuff happening, while at the same time the ankle heals. So complicated process. Hopefully everything goes good. Again, surgery tomorrow. If you guys made it this far, I do have a GoFundMe for all this. it'll be down in the description. I know I've posted it a couple times in some shorts that I've done of my foot with my, showing the fixator and everything. This is just to offset some of the medical cost. I'm not working right now, obviously. I can't drive, I can't work. I do have some short-term disability through work, but it does not pay 100%. Obviously, the channel does not make a ton of money, and I'm, surgeries, the copay for the surgery is about $500 a pop, and I'm on surgery number 3, plus the follow-up visits are about $100 a piece with the x-rays and the visit. So just going to be honest with you guys, I did start a GoFundMe just to kind of offset some of those costs and help. I've got a few donations. Thank you to the people who have donated. Some of those came from Reddit when I posted about my broken ankle, and some of them are people that I know here on YouTube, Twitter. So thank you to the people who have donated. If you are able to contribute, it is greatly appreciated. Obviously not required. I'm not, trying to get anybody to do something that they're not financially able to do. But I'm just saying it does help, and it is there as a way to help support me during this time, so I can, use that for surgery and continue to use the money that I make from this stuff to put back into it. Like when I buy phones, when I buy stuff like that for the channel. Obviously a lot of that is going to be on hold right now while I pay for all this and while I'm not working. So the GoFundMe is just there to kind of offset some of that and keep things as normal as possible until I can recover and get back to work. So I will leave a link down in the description below. If you're not able to donate, that is perfectly fine. But maybe if you can share it with, a group or, your Facebook or something like that, just say, hey, I watched this guy on YouTube. Try to get the word out there. It does help a lot. So that's what's going on. That's why the videos were, I was trying to schedule 3 a week and have them all done, so when I was at work they could upload and publish, and then that's why they just stopped, because I couldn't walk. So still can't walk, I'm on crutches. I crutched in here to make this video, and I'm just trying to update you guys on what's going on. So that's what's going on with the channel. After the surgery, hopefully I will be able to be at my desk a little more, because I won't be having to keep my foot up as much as I am before the surgery to get the swelling and everything down. So hopefully I'll be able to get a couple more videos out. Like I said, if I am home on Monday after the hospital, I will be streaming WWDC and doing all that kind of stuff with you guys. So hopefully all goes well there and I can get out on time. But I am Colin with Techout. Don't forget to comment, rate, and subscribe. It helps out greatly. And as always, have a great day.